Good afternoon, folks. My name is Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if there's probable cause for those charges. Probable cause simply means it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred and more likely than not that you're the person who committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me this afternoon, I presume that you're innocent to these allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the State Attorney's Office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release this afternoon. That is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this afternoon. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, I have a pair of assistant state attorneys in the courtroom with me this afternoon. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. You all solemnly swear, affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Arsenio Jackson. Your Honor. Mr. Brown. Hang on one second. Let's get our
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Jackson, what's your date of birth?
11/07/1989.
All right, Mr. Jackson, you're hearing a warrant signed by Judge Rupi. She found probable cause for 2 counts of sex bad upon a mentally defective person. Mr. Brown.
If the court please, Mr. Jackson is a lifetime resident of Hernando County. His father is present in the courtroom. His sister is also present. He is married, has 5 children that he supports. From his history, which with lack of history, I submit to the court respectfully, there is no basis to believe that he would flee the jurisdiction or not attend court when directed to do so. He is not a danger to the community. There is no information from his past history that would indicate that he would become a danger to the community. I would respectfully suggest that a bond of $5,000 without GPS would be sufficient to ensure that he will appear for all court appearances and that the safety of the community would be adequately protected.
Mr. Church, what do you want to tell me?
One-drop battery in 2018. There is a pending obstructing case in Pasco County. I'm told by Mr. Brown that is actually the defendant's brother utilizing his ID, masquerading as him. That is entirely possible. I don't know much about the Pasco case. As for bond, the state feels that the $10,000 is appropriate, and we are requesting GPS as a condition of bond, given the fact that these are 2 F1s and he's looking at a maximum of 60 years in jail and a minimum of probably, given what I know about the charges, a minimum of probably about 15.
And of course, please, he was cooperative with law enforcement through Detective Artis throughout the investigation. Were he going to flee, he would have fled that. Once he was aware that there was an investigation which could lead to his arrest for a serious charge, if he were want to flee, that would have been the time to do it. He did not flee. He stayed here. He continued to cooperate. Respectfully submit, $5,000 without GPS is sufficient.
Okay. And Mr. Jackson, I have an address for you on Oakdale Avenue in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
No, sir.
Okay, where do you live?
Yes, sir, that's Oakdale Avenue, 715 Oakdale.
Okay, all right. How long have you lived there?
About 2 years.
And I'm guessing you're unemployed right now, is that right?
No, sir.
Where do you work?
I work at Daycare Recovery Center and Market Cancer Center.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to set the bond at $5,000 on each count. That's a total of 10. It won't order the GPS. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with the alleged victim, whose, of course, name is not in the warrant. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message. Don't contact the alleged victim by any social media. Don't go where she lives. Don't go where she works. You don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting her, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond can be revoked and you can be held without bond. It means no contact even if she wants the contact. So if you answer your phone and hear her voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see her, you should turn around and run the other way. You'll be back in court on the 10th of May. If you get out, very important that you stay in contact with Mr. Brown at all times, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bernard. If the court please, this business may be excused.
Yes, you may.
Thank
You
you,
too,
Judge.
Mr. Judge.
Myself as well, Your Honor.
Yeah, very good. Lillian Gonzalez.
Appreciate it.
Stay around. Give you some rest.
Oh, Lillian, what's your date of birth?
October 3rd, 1983.
All right, Lillian, I have a charge of possession of controlled substance. And it also appears that you're currently on felony probation. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So there's a probable cause arrest for the VOP. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
No, sir.
Pardon me?
No, sir. I'm already doing 2 years. I'm already rightly. They're going to just give me the 2 years.
Okay. If your bond on the VOP at no bond, that case will be coming back on the 10th of May. On the new case, I'll leave the bond at $2,000. That one's also coming back on the 10th of May. Thank you.
We did not get appointed, right?
No?
Okay. I didn't quite follow that.
I don't either, but that's good. Well, ours is not the reason why. Brittany Diggett. Afternoon, Brittany. What's your date of birth?
11/24/87.
Brittany, the charge today is felony retail theft. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point the PD state.
She's currently on our docket for a VOP status set for May 2nd in 2018 MM 1460. She was put on probation for marijuana possession, a grand theft adjudication in 16, as well as a controlled substance and paraphernalia in adjudication in 16, a resisting in 2014 adjudication without violence, a resisting merchant adjudication in 2014, driving license suspended, withhold in 12, petty theft, withhold in 09.
Your Honor,
Yeah.
that was an NTA
All right.
that was here, and I was told that they are going to be issuing a warrant.
So that we can, okay.
Yes.
So leave that where it is for right now because she was just on probation.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Brittany, I have an address here on Gordon Loop. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
A while. Quite a while. 50 years.
Okay. You have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I work for Bill McCormick. I'm a caretaker for Bill McCormick.
Okay. In this case, I'm going to leave your bond at the $2,000, excuse me. It'll be back on the 10th of May. You have a case that's on status with me on the 2nd of May. Before then, the folks at probation are going to swear out a warrant for a VOP in that case. The bond on that warrant will be no bond. If you bond out on this case, which you sure can, you still need to be in court in front of me on the 2nd of May. If you don't bond out, then within a few days here, they'll serve that warrant on you on the jail. And I certainly would give you credit for every day that you've been in jail if a jail sentence is part of that VOP, but that'll be your decision to make, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Celia Hormerte. Afternoon, ma'am. What's your date of birth? What's your date of birth?
12/11/62.
All right. The charge is battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
PD.
I'll point to PD. State.
Adjudication withheld in 1992 for cruelty towards a child. And then there's a possession of paraphernalia from 92 and a controlled substance from 92 adjudication.
Okay. Celia, the address I have for you is on Arizona Street, is that right?
Yes,
How long have you lived there?
19 years.
All right, and through yesterday anyway, Corey Murphy was living there too?
Yes, for 3 months.
Okay. You have a job these days?
No.
You set your bond at $50. Condition of the bond, however, is that you have no contact with Ms. Murphy. Did you hear me explain no contact a moment ago?
Oh, hell, I know.
So that's a yes?
Oh, yes.
And you understood that explanation of what no contact means?
Oh, yes.
All right. In addition to the information I've already provided, you also need to understand that she cannot drop the charges against you. That's not a decision she gets to make. She may go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges. She may tell them she's not interested in pursuing this matter, but that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped, and you should not have contact. In addition, I've got to hold you today up until 4 p.m. so that if she wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. Finally, and this is the hard part, if Corey Murphy is still at your Arizona Street address when you get out, then you'll have to stay someplace else as long as she's there until we get these charges resolved. You can go by one time to collect your clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need, wherever you plan to stay. To do that, however, you must contact the sheriff's office first. They'd meet you there with a deputy who'd stand by while you collect your things and got going where you're going. I'll have you back in court on the 3rd of May. Very important that you contact the public defender when you get out, all right?
Yes, she is no longer living there at that address. Our daughter is there.
All right, and I'm just telling you, Celia, because I get it. I see what the situation is. I just want you to be careful, because if you have contact with her and she drops a dime on you, you could wind up back in jail without bond, so just be careful about that, okay?
No problem.
All right, thank you. Carrie Hewitt O'Neill. Afternoon, Carrie. Date of birth?
9/12/77.
All right, so Carrie, we have that warrant from yesterday. It was signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for a felony petty theft. As to that charge, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point the PD, state.
We're showing an open misdemeanor theft 2018 MM 3241 that happened in September of 2018 on Hitzemann docket.
Right.
And then this new theft and possession of alcoholic beverage adjudication withheld 97 under 21 and no other history, Your Honor.
All right.
That's all I'm showing.
Carrie, I'm getting an address for you on Adrian Drive in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long you been there?
About 15 years.
You have a job these days?
Not right now.
Okay. I'll set your bond at $1,000. I'm going to have you back on the 10th of May. Two things, Carrie. It's very important. One, that you see the public defender or contact the public defender when you get out. Two, that you don't pick up any additional charges until you get everything resolved, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Lori O'Connor. After Miss O'Connor, what's your date of birth?
8463.
So, O'Connor, I have a warrant for you signed by Judge Toner. Apparently, you failed to appear in his court on 2 charges: possession of controlled substance and permitting an unauthorized person to drive your vehicle. As to those charges, are you representing yourself? You have private counsel? You want the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender. Judge Toner set your bonds at $4,000 and $1,000 respectively. You can't change those. I'm going to send you back. What's the Judge Toner date?
That's the 5/1/10 date.
It is a 5/10, but so that should be Toner. Okay. I'm going to send you back to court on the 10th of May. If you bond out, make sure you contact the public defender's office right away. If you can't get out, they're going to come see you before you go to court on the 10th of May, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And And then I have Lydia Resmondo, and I understand, Jail, she's at the doctor's office or something?
Yes, sir.
Okay. She has a warrant out of Pinellas County for a fail to appear. Bond on the warrant is no bond. I'll have you guys contact Pinellas right away. Give them 5 days to come get her. Michelle Walker. Ms. Walker, what's your date of birth?
5/12/1974, sir.
Ms. Walker, the charge is battery. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself and hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I'll let the defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD. State, what can you tell me?
An adjudication in January of 2019 for a battery or a county jail sentence was imposed. It was a different victim. A dropped battery in 2013 out of April out of Palm Beach, and then a dropped battery January of 2013 out of Palm Beach County. And a aggravated battery adjudication was held in 2007 where a state prison sentence was imposed. It says she does have some out-of-state history. Back in 2004, mostly controlled substance. There is an assault in 2017 that says convicted.
Okay. Michelle, I have an address for you on Omaha Circle in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
No, I'm at the Dawn Center, sir.
Okay.
I don't know the address.
Okay. Sorry, you're not supposed to share that anyway. All right, how long you been there?
About a week and a half, sir.
All right. You have a job these days?
I'm on disability.
Okay. I'll set the bond at $500. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Julia Moree. If she's also staying at the Dawn Center, that would mean that you could not go back to stay at the Dawn Center while these charges were pending. We'll have you back in court on the 3rd of May. If you have clothes or other personal items at the Dawn Center, you certainly could go back there one time to collect those things after you get out, but you'd have to contact the sheriff's office first, and they'd meet you there to take care of that, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
You bet. Brent Fogelstrom. Brent, what's your date of birth?
9273, sir.
All right, Brent, I have a whole collection of warrants for failing to appear signed by 3 of them by me and 1 of them by Judge Rupi. Were you in jail someplace else?
Yes, sir. I was just in Pasco County, sir.
Okay. How long were you in jail in Pasco County?
Over a month.
Okay. When did you go into jail in Pasco County?
I believe it was the 5th of last month, sir.
The 5th of March. All right. State, do you have a plea offer for all of this stuff? I got 1 count of false receipt, fraud, 1 count of petty theft, 1 count of driving on a suspended license, another count of driving on a suspended license, attaching a tag, and no motor vehicle registration.
And he has no outstanding felonies at all?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what you know. And then, Brent, are you done in Pasco? You finished your time down there?
Yes, sir. I got time served on this, sir.
Okay.
The state's offer will be 60 days.
Okay.
And then we'd have to ask the restitution.
That's fine.
If that's your honor.
All right. So, Brent.
Sir, is there a way I can clear this up today? Possibly. I got a job out there. I'm trying to.
Well, what they just offered you is 60 days. And I'd give you credit for the time that you had in Pasco. Let's see. 39. Which means you'd have about 11 days left to do on a 60-day sentence.
I'll take that, sir.
All right. You understand by entering pleas today, you give up the right to have a trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent, right to have a lawyer represent you, but you want to give up those rights so we can take care of all of these today?
Yes, sir.
Case number 19MM69 is the charge that you committed the crime of fraud by requesting a refund with a false receipt. How do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
Yes, sir.
I'll accept the plea, find it was freely and voluntarily made. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 60 days in the county jail, credit 39 days served. Fine and court cost is $670, $100, that includes that. And I will not order a cross incarceration because you've done the bulk of your time someplace else. In case number, and reserve on restitution on that one. In case number 19MM400, as to the charge of petty theft, how do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
No contest. Yes,
I'll accept that plea, find it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 60 days, credit 39, running concurrent with the first case. In that case, there will also be a fine and court cost of $670, and I'll reserve on restitution for 30 days. In case number 19CT430, as the charge that you drove knowing your license was suspended or revoked, how do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
No contest. Yes, sir.
I'll accept that plea, find it's freely and voluntarily made, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 60 days in the county jail, credit 39 served, running concurrent with your other cases. In that case, the fine and court cost is $488. In case number 19CT549, as to the charge in count 1 of driving on a suspended license, how do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
No contest.
As
Yes,
the charge in count 2 of attaching a tag not assigned, how do you wish to plead?
no contest. Sir.
And the charge in count 3 of no motor vehicle registration, how do you wish to plead?
No contest.
I'll accept those pleas, find they were freely and voluntarily made, adjudicate you guilty on all 3 counts, 60 days in the county jail on all 3 counts, credit 39 served on all 3 counts, running concurrent to each other and concurrent to your other time. There'll be a fine and court cost in count 1 of $488, 88 in count 2, 88 in count 3. That takes care of everything, Brent. You just need to finish the time, all right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good luck. Richard Hormete. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
1/14/61.
Richard, the charge of battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
PD.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Adjudication in 92 for cruelty towards child, and it says drug equipped possess. I'm assuming a paraphernalia charge. Adjudication in 92. No other convictions besides the 81 burglary of a dwelling.
Okay. Richard, I have that address on Arizona Street. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
19 years.
Good. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I run heavy equipment.
Okay. Who do you do that for?
Guys land clearing.
Very good. Same thing for you, Richard. I'll set the bond at $50. Condition is that you have no contact with Ms. Murphy. You heard me explain no contact?
Yes, sir.
And you understood that?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Also got to hold you till 4 p.m., so if he wants to serve you with an injunction, we know where to find you. I'll have you back in court on the 3rd of May. Make sure you contact the PD when you get out, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Justin Macedonio. Afternoon, Justin. What's your date of birth?
May 5th, 1996.
Justin, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Toner. You found probable cause for a VOP. As to that violation of probation, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender from
I'll appoint the PD. Bond on that warrant is no bond. I can't change that. I'm going to send you back to see Judge Toner on the 10th of May. The public defender will come see you before then, okay?
Excuse me, sir. I've been incarcerated on this VOP since November 11, 2018. Is there any way I'd be able to move up to court date to get this taken care of?
I think the 10th is the best we can do for you, Justin. That's when it would next be there. Sorry.
Right.
Christopher Mosley. Afternoon, Christopher. What's your date of birth?
11/17/86.
All right, Christopher, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Rupi. Apparently, you failed to appear in her court on a charge of driving on a suspended license. Stated you got an offer.
The offer Judge Rupi offered was 60 days.
Okay. Christopher, you wanted to resolve it today. You could do 60 days in the county jail. Were you in jail someplace else?
Yeah, Pasco since March 7th.
Okay, are you done in Pasco? It looks like you still got a hold down there.
Nah, I'm done. I just signed last Monday.
What's your sentence?
60 days.
Okay, so you're done in Pasco.
Yeah.
But you've been in since March 7th. That ain't 60 days.
Yes, sir.
So you still serving that sentence?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like just.
All right. 25. All right. And you offered 60?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So, Christopher, you got to resolve this one for 60. I'll give you the time that you have in Pasco as well. That'd be 60 with credit for 37.
Yes, sir.
All right. You understand by entering a plea today, you give up the right to have a trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, right to remain silent, the right to have a lawyer represent you, but you want to give up those rights so we can take care of this today?
Yes, sir.
Case number 18, CT 3093, that's the charge that you drove, knowing your license had been suspended or revoked. How do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
Yes, sir. No
I'll
problem.
accept that plea, find it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll adjudicate you guilty. Sentence you to 60 days in the county jail, running concurrent to any other sentence you may be serving. Credit 37 days served. Fine and court costs is $488. Will not order the cost of incarceration, as that I'm sure was assessed someplace else. That takes care of it. You just need to finish the time, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. John, perfect. Afternoon, John. What's your date of birth?
02/28/91.
All right, John, you're hearing a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
PD.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond on that warrant is no bond. I can't change that. I'll send you back to see Judge Merritt on the 30th of April. I think they told you May 10th. The right date for you is the 30th of April. Public defender will come see you before that, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Eric Pumphrey. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
090987, sir.
Alright, so you're hearing a warrant signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender's fine, sir.
I'll appoint the public defender. The bond on that warrant, of course, is the no bond. I'll have you back on the 10th of May. The public defender will come see you before that, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Michael Skipper.
Your Honor, he bonded.
Oh, awesome. Robert Yankee. Afternoon, Robert. What's your date of birth?
12283.
Robert, you're hearing a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. Apparently you failed to appear on 4 counts of possession of controlled substance, 1 count of possession of medicinal drug, 2 counts possession of drug paraphernalia. It looks like you were serving sentence someplace else. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you got Pasco County. You got a little bit of time left on the Pasco case, right?
Correct.
Okay. So on these charges, Robert, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Private counsel, sir.
All right. And you have somebody already?
Yes, sir.
Who is it?
Scott Tremblay.
Okay, very good. He knows where you're at today?
Yes, sir.
Very good. So I'm going to leave those bonds at no bond given the fact that you're serving a sentence right now anyway. I'll move you to the 30th of April, so you'll get you back in front of Judge Merritt. Make sure you let Mr. Tremblay know that I moved you to April 30th so you can get this case resolved, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And Daniel Cahoon. Afternoon, Daniel. What's your date of birth?
Afternoon is 3/18/1994.
Daniel, you got 2 charges of violation of an injunction for protection against domestic violence. There's probable cause for both of them. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State what you tell me.
A dropped 15 felony battery in Pinellas County and adjudication of guilt 2014 for resisting without, as well as the possession of marijuana and loitering and prowling. A trespass adjudication of guilt in 2014, all of it down in Pinellas County. 2013 burglary of conveyance adjudication, where a county jail sentence was imposed. Another count in burglary that was with it, and that was also out of Pinellas. They're resisting an officer without violence adjudication. And then some juvenile history, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. And Daniel, I have an address for you on Springwood Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long you been there?
For 3 years.
You have a job these days?
Yeah, pumping concrete on California Street in 50.
Okay. All right. You set the bond on these at $500 each. That's a total of $1,000. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Danielle. Did you hear me explain no contact?
Yes, sir. I mean, I understand everything now. I mean, the first time...
Just stop. Daniel, stop. Okay? There's nothing you can say about the facts that's going to help, okay? I just want to make sure that you understand that no contact means absolutely no contact any way you can imagine it, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now the other thing you need to know is that the no contact order I'm putting on you right now is bigger than the injunction. So if Danielle would have the injunction drop tomorrow, you still couldn't have contact with her because I've ordered you not to have contact. And the only person who can take that away is me. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So $500 each. They'll both be back on the 3rd of May. Make sure you contact the PD when you get out, okay?
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Joe, you got anybody else for me?
No, sir.
Awesome. Have a great weekend.